Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Lorelei Shamayo, and this is MeWe Fairs for energizing body, mind, heart, and soul. We aim to be a safe space for authenticity and transformation, and we're excited to be with you tonight to look at transforming your business and you in your business. We have, as I said, tons of events throughout the Pacific Northwest and excited to do all kinds of things online to reach people all over. We've had all kinds of different events, fairs, circles, panels, and we've been doing some events the last few years directed towards business and supporting all of us as business owners and people that are developing their gifts and how do they get started as a business. And so we created this event so that we can be available to support you in this area, in this topic. So we're going to, just like all of our other panels, we're going to go around and have the practitioners introduce themselves that are here tonight, that are on the panel. They'll talk about their work. They might talk about their work as an entrepreneur, their specific skills and resources and capacity that they bring to support you in your business from all their business experience as well. And then we'll be open for questions. So we're open to supporting you in all kinds of different stages of business. And so practitioners, we might have everyone go around and introduce themselves generally, and then we might go around and talk just a little bit more about business with some of the different topics that have come up. And we'll mix the discussion in with when questions are coming in. There is a small price to pay to ask a question. I'll put that in the chat again. I think it's $20 to $28 or $12 for BIPOC folks, but it's free to be here to listen from all the discussion. If you have general questions on business, feel free to put those in the chat too. We might be able to answer those as part of the free experience of being here as well. All right, great. And yeah, for those of you coming in, the recording is on. All right, great. So we'll go in a related order before, but not exactly the same order. We'll have Sandra and then Goddess Renata, and then Tiffany, then Jenny, Psychic Shannon, and then Naomi. All right, go ahead, Sandra. Tell us about all you do and what you're bringing here to the business panel tonight.
I'm Sandra Jeffs. I'm clairsentient, and I consider myself a light worker, doing transformational, guiding you through your transformational process to remember you already have all the tools inside of you.
All right, great. Did you want to share a little bit more? You've got like 2-3 minutes here. So do you want to go ahead and share?
Okay. So I am certified in theta healing, which helps to make changes quickly and completely in our unconscious. I've spent 10 years of my life working as a business manager. And at the college level, I taught business courses for almost 3 years. I've created 7 solopreneur businesses over the years, and today I run 4, all of which are heart-centered businesses, which I believe is the key to really tapping into our intuition and really being in service to people. In every single instance of forming a new business, I was a beginner in that field. I had a desire, a need, and my intuition urging me to do that, to do whatever it was. And in no way was I ready to do it. I learned on the fly, and only 2 of my different businesses didn't really fully succeed. The first, because I realized that although I had the talent, I really didn't like it when I was doing it full time. And the second business failed because I ignored my intuition on how to do the business. I began with a business plan and did very well. And then a headhunter talked me into opening a store in the mall, and I lost all of my money and was in debt. I believe if I'd stuck to my business plan, listened to my intuition, I'd have done all right. So I'm here to help people to really trust that they can jump in, and whatever level they're at, the beginning level or whatever, they can jump in and start a business, learn on the fly, and that it's okay to fail because then you learn. So I hope to talk to you. Bye-bye.
Thanks so much, Sandra. Next we have Goddess Renata. Sorry, let's get you unmuted.
I think I'm unmuted now.
You are.
Right on, Sandra. Seriously, learn on the fly. That's me, like fly girl. And heart-centered, I started out that way, not really fitting in to other ways of doing things. So I thought, well, I'll just do my own thing. I remember having a popsicle, not a popsicle, but a pencil kind of selling business in my neighborhood. I thought, well, I can just go buy some pencils and I can knock on my neighbor's door because they know me and sell pencils. I was about 9. And I kept doing those kinds of things. And like Sandra was saying, it's like, you don't really have to have anything other than a desire. And I totally did. I love my autonomy. And that really is what I appreciate about being an entrepreneur. And I've been one with all of my careers, honestly. Yeah, from the salons that we've owned, two salons, an independent massage practice for 25 years doing medical massage. But I was always adding little things into it, like I create transformational tinctures and aromatic elixirs, and I would do that for my clients. Um, yeah, I kind of mix a lot of things up. And most of the things I've studied, I've integrated into my own lifestyle. So I use the things, I use the tools that I learned all the time. And I feel that's actually really important for a lot of you that are aspiring to assist others. I say, don't leave yourself out of the formula. Assist yourself first. Be the absolute best and the clearest you can be for you, and be able to resolve all the things that come to you and through you to transmute. And when you do that, and when you learn how to talk, when you do that efficiently, you resonate at a different level, a different frequency, and you start to draw or attract people to you like a magnet. I do that now. So I don't attempt to put myself out there and say I do this and do that for you, because I really don't know what it is that I actually do for you. But what I do for me is maintain clarity and then open the doors to opportunities that present themselves where it feels like I can be in service to those that have questions. That's pretty much it.
Right?
Yeah. Thank you, Lorelai.
You're welcome. Thank you so much, Goddess Renata. And next we have Tiffany.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tiffany Rose, founder of Regal Rose Consulting and Galactic Mystery School. I help spirit-led entrepreneurs bring their big visions into reality. I work with coaches, healers, small business owners to create beautiful and functional websites, thriving Etsy shops, develop brand identities, design graphics, write compelling content, and brainstorm creative ways to stand out online. I really love weaving together both the practical and the magical, whether that's through social media planning, creative branding, or simply helping you get unstuck and inspired. I also specialize in inner child healing, which helps with imposter syndrome and other limiting belief patterns to help you feel empowered and ready to get going in your business. Offer spiritual hygiene coaching to help clear negative energy and unwanted spirits from business owners and their businesses. Let's see. Tonight I have some specials. I'm offering $99 90-minute brainstorming sessions. That's almost 50% off my normal rate. And if anyone would like an Etsy shop or website built, there's a 20% off coupon good for the next 72 hours. Everything on my website, Intuitive Tiffany Rose, is either 20 to 50% off, and my entire Etsy shop offerings, 21 different offerings, are 50% off until Monday. I'm really excited to be here tonight and talk to all of you about starting and growing spirit-led businesses. Thank you.
Great. Thanks so much. Next we've got Jenny.
Hello, everybody. I'm Jenny Capella with Miracles with Jenny, and I am an intuitive crisis, career, and life transitions coach. And I love supporting people when they're going through relationship challenges, career pivots of any kind, really. Could be they've been laid off and they need to think about what's next, or maybe they're just dissatisfied at where they're at and they're looking for something even better. And then also spiritual transformations, which can be very, very intense, as I'm sure some and maybe all of you know, like dark nights of the soul. And one of my favorite things to do is assist people who are thinking about starting a spiritually based business or expanding one or adding more than one to what they've already got. And I've spent the past 16 years in the field of career transition and workforce development. And I've helped literally thousands of people with their resumes, with their LinkedIn profiles, and many, many more, like salary negotiations and all of those things. Now, the reason I'm bringing that up is because even when you have a spiritually based business, there's some practicality to the grounded tools that you need. For example, you may be somebody who thinks, gosh, I really want to change this hobby into an actual business. Can't do it yet. I need a full-time job to fund my reality, to fund my dream. And so you'll need a resume. Or LinkedIn. Let's just say you already have a spiritually based practice and you have a presence a profile on LinkedIn. then there's some steps you can take that are very specific to optimize your LinkedIn profile. And quick sidebar, if you don't know what LinkedIn is, it is the world's largest business and career platform. And it's incredible, like hundreds of millions of people, approaching 1 billion people at this point. I'm a member on LinkedIn of 2 spiritually based groups, and just in those groups alone, there's 20,000 people. So when you get help from me optimizing your LinkedIn profile, what it does is, instead of you having to reach out and try and find people, clients, recruiters, whatever you're looking for, it starts drawing them and magnetizing them to you by the way that you position yourself and the words that you use. So I love doing that for people. And we're very glad you're here tonight. And I'm offering for the next, let's see, till September 15th, I'm offering 50% off of all the services on my website and on my Etsy shop. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Jenny. All right, great. Next we have Naomi. Naomi, are you there? Are you ready?
Hi.
Great. Hi.
Yes. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here. It's an honor to be with all of you brilliant, intuitive souls, helping people align with their soul purpose. I'm really excited about led entrepreneurs and radiant holistic leaders to embody their most luscious wealth frequency, rewiring their nervous system into receiving mode, syncing their body with the timing, and aligning sensually with their soul purpose. It's the most exciting thing that you can do. There we go. All right, then we got the video running right on. Through voice and vibration and vivacious sacred destiny strategy, I help you alchemize your pain into purpose and guide you to unlock magnetic resonance in your message, your money, and your movement, so you can rise unapologetically into your most empowered, turned on, soul-aligned self. And I'm offering a combination of gene keys, human design, cosmic human design, astrology, numerology, and destiny cards wealth code reading for half price. It's only $250 for the next 5 days. And you can find out exactly what the areas are in your life that when you perform them, they seem to magnetize wealth to you most easily, according to your soul code. So thank you for having me here. I look forward to this conversation with everyone.
Great. So glad to have you here. Let's see. We've also got Psychic Shannon. Great. Got your video back on. And tell us
Yeah,
about
sorry
you.
about that. My phone died and I had to get my tripod. Am I able to go next?
Yeah, please go ahead. Take 2-3 minutes to tell us
Okay.
about who you are and what you do and applying it to business.
So I am Psychic Shannon, the owner and the senior practitioner of Psychic Readings by Miss Shannon Starks. Here at Miss Shannon Starks, what we do is we operate through natural gifts. So I am clairvoyant, clairaudient, clairsentient. I am also a medium. I do specialize in speaking to spirits who have passed on, but also have messages to say. Another gift of mine is that I am able to speak to spirit guides. So I do have a direct line of connection to our guides that are above us. I also do specialize in palmistry and tarot as well. However, I use tarot as more of like a navigator. It's not really about what the card, like the picture of the card, it's what the message through the card has to say. Through my gifts, I am able to guide, I am able to heal, I'm able to ask and answer questions. And I'm also able to look into, like I talked about earlier, the more like not just the spiritual matters, but also everyday life matters. So business, career, finance, sometimes you need spiritual guidance in everyday life because let's face it, life gets messy and sometimes we just need a little bit of guidance. So through my readings, you will get accurate and honest answers. I'm also non-judgmental. And I'm very down to earth. I'm very open. I'm very honest with my clients. I want every experience to feel like you're just chit-chatting with a friend, but also getting the most deep and insightful reading possible. So thank you guys for having me. I am running a couple of current specials right now. We are doing some intuitive, deep collective readings this week, and they're going for $75. So if anybody is interested, you can definitely let me know. And I am excited to be here with all of you today.
Great.
Thank you so much.
Great. And I'm Lorelei Shamayo. In addition to running the panel, I'm also an intuitive eye reader. I believe that we all read eyes all the time. In reading your eyes, like eyes are a window to the soul. My aim is to read your soul and reflect your soul, your purpose. And so in terms of business, my aim is to help you better understand your greatest gifts and see how your business is and can be even more aligned with your purpose. I can help you look to see who to partner with on the journey of running your business. It might be a partner, employee, consultant, someone just to partner with and trade with each other. I can help you see who to best bring in and also give you suggestions and advice for relating with whoever you're connecting with already. I end up doing a lot of hiring interviews, have over the years done a lot of hiring interviews for companies, so I see a lot of resumes. So I also can give advice on rewriting your resume so that your purpose comes through clearly on your resume and meets people with the way they're looking at resumes now, so that you are seen and you find a place where someone really wants you, be that for fulfilling your purpose and or the taxi job of getting you from here to where you want to go. Along the way to my journey to becoming an intuitive eye reader, and I also do body psychology coaching. So I'm reading your eyes and I'm also reading all of your body. So it gives me information about your state now, your beliefs. It helps me find the way towards affirmations, find the ways towards what lessons might be in your way and how to help you through those. So along the way here, I was an intellectual property consultant. I started off in biotech, and so I ended up doing intellectual property and then worked in a number of businesses doing IP consulting and still have done that for a number of clients over the years. So I can help you see what intellectual property you might have and how you want to protect that, whether that's using the IP system or keeping things as trade secrets, just all kinds of different things. Part of my work also in running the MeWe fairs is doing all the advertising. And so I have really cost-effective ways, efficient ways of doing itty-bitty ads to reach the key people that you want to find. And so I can help people with advertising strategies as well. Also, part of what I end up doing in my work is a bit of wordsmithing. I have some sense of what words are appealing in the community, and I can help people find some new ways to say things that might reach their audience better. So those are some of the things that I'm excited to bring to you today on the panel. All right, well, let's see. So panelists, is there anything else about you and your background that you want to share? Often hearing from each other, we think of more things that we want to share about what we do. Go ahead, Sandra. Yeah, you got us Renata after that. Go ahead.
I forgot to mention that I'm running a 10% off special of all my theta healings from now until next Friday or next Thursday, the end of which is September 11th, I believe. So if you're interested in working one-on-one and going a lot deeper, I can do just about anything in those healings that you're wanting to do. Release stuck energy, close past lifetimes, remove limiting beliefs, etc. Thanks.
Great. Yeah. So a number of us have specials where you can work with us at lower prices because you were here today after the panel tonight. All right. Great. Got us, Renata.
I forgot to mention my new school platform, When Pigs Fly and Unicorns Roam the Land. I have a 7-day free trial on that one, as well as there is it's $100 Rich You All Magic. It's a digital download package that includes some really cool stuff from me. And let's see, what else is there? So the platform, I said that, the school thing, I did that. There's that. And then I also do numerology that forms the base of a lot of the things that I do with people. Yeah, I wanted to add that in. Thank you, Lorelai.
That's great. Thank you. And what did you say? What did you say your session is that's available right now?
Oh, so it is it's a 7-day magic ritual. It's $100. You got to go to my website to catch what that is. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, great. And that's only available for how long?
It's a constant. It's a constant.
Sorry. Oh, all of a sudden I can't hear you all.
It's continual.
Let me work on my.
It's okay, Lorelai. It's continual.
Okay, great. All right. And if you have a link to your school, go ahead and put that in the chat and I will add that to the announcement.
Thank you for that. I did neglect to send that to you. Appreciate that.
You're welcome. All right. Great. Great. All right. Who else? Anyone else want to share a little bit more about their background? Go ahead, Tiffany.
Well, not so much about my background, but I wanted to share that today I released in my Etsy shop ebook on spiritual hygiene, how to keep your energy clear. It gives you all the basics There are some guides on there for daily care of keeping your energy clear. And there's also pendulum charts that you can use to balance your chakras, to check your frequency on the map of consciousness, and a few other cool things. And it's 50% off. So
Great, great. All right, let's see. I'm going to put the information in the chat again, and then I'll share some of the context of how you can ask a question on the panel. All right. So today is free to be here. So it's a great opportunity to learn from all that's asked and all that's answered. For those of you that know you are intuitive or are opening to your intuition, whether you regularly work with business questions or you don't know that you do so far, it's a great opportunity to practice to see what advice you might have. When people ask questions, you might see what comes through you and how you would answer. And so please keep the insight to yourself as we're answering someone's question. However, when we're done, you're welcome to private chat them and see if they'd like to hear what came through you and see if it is of use to them. Please trust that they are honoring themselves. They might say no, and they might feel full after hearing from perhaps 7 of us in an answer. And trust that the information came through you for some reason to be of service. Or there's something else to come through you. When you ask a question here at the panel, you have choices of how you ask. You can come up here on stage with us and be on video and be in the recording. This is recorded and will go up on our YouTube channel. You can ask from your seat in the audience, and then your voice will be on the recording and not your image. And you also can ask confidentially. You can write me your question, and I will read out your question. When you ask a question here on the panel, and I think this is true all the time when you work with any practitioner, and particularly because we're doing this in public, when you ask a question, if we go deeper than you want us to go in this format, or if we start talking about all these other things and you just want us talking about this, you don't want us going over there, jump in and give us guidance, interrupt us, and let us know how you want us to honor you as we answer. So we're happy to take some general questions about business and about the resources that we bring to business, if you want to put any of those in the chat. And if you, oh, my Zoom did the strangest thing. What I'm trying to say, and if you'd like to ask a question of the panel, though, it is sliding scale. It's 20 to 28, so 20, 24, 28 you choose, or $12 for BIPOC folks. Please do pay before you ask a question. After you've paid, please let me know in chat that you have paid so I can get you in line. I don't think we have anyone in line at the moment. If you have paid and you want to ask a question, please let me know, and we will jump in and help you first. And I just keep checking all my accounts. I have ways that you can pay by PayPal and Venmo, or you can go to Humanitix and pay right on the Humanitix link. So there are options, and I have to prove to something that I am human. So I'm going to work on that in a moment. Harder to multitask and do that while I'm running the panel with these new tricks up here. All right, let's see. Yeah, well, so does anyone have any general questions or topics about business that you want to ask about, or that we might share about while we're waiting to see if someone has a question for the panel? Well, I can get into all these accounts and check. I guess maybe I'll just kind of like just talk about the elephant a little bit. It's a generally more challenging time for the economy. Sorry, let me make sure I mute people. So it's generally a more challenging time in the economy. So it's a time where there's opportunity. A lot of people make use of the opportunity when this happens. But I just wonder, maybe panelists, like, how do you play with this for yourself personally? And then how do you like support your clients and your community, and how to, what to do at this time? I mean, some people feel scared, and there are just things to do with people feeling scared, but really, what are some business opportunities that we have that we can focus on? Great, Goddess Renata, go ahead. And you got to unmute.
Can you hear me?
Yes, Psychic Shannon. Let's get Goddess Renata, and then Psychic Shannon, you can go after Goddess Renata.
Yep.
Goddess Renata, can you unmute?
It's up in the corner there.
All right, great. There you
I'll
go.
learn the ropes here. This is part of it, learning the ropes, showing up and being the present that people unwrap by your presence in their life. And what does that mean? It just means your everyday experiences. If you were not here on this side now, you would be not part of the solution. And so it just is being present and showing up when something comes across my head. And I'm like, oh, well, check that out. I go check it out, see what's there for me and how I can share my unique spin on whatever is coming in. So yeah, being available and making yourself available. That's why I'm showing up here. And then supporting people that are part of the evolutionary chain. What you do, Lorelei, what you do, Lorelei, I can say it 3 times. What you do, Lorelei, I won't say it wrong again, is that you are part of the conscious collective chain of expansion that's happening. So there is no rigidity. We have to all be able to bridge and be flexible. Okay, I'm off my box. Be bridge, be flexible, be present, show up, smile, love that we can do this. All right. Show your appreciation. That's important.
That's great.
And
Thank
that
you. And I
costs
think
nothing. That costs nothing.
that's great. Thank you. You have the dramatic pause, and I'm not so great at timing of like when is it a dramatic pause and when are you done? So sorry for cutting you off. Psychic
No.
Shannon had something, and then Jenny. Psychic Shannon, did you want to share?
I just had a question. So the people that are coming in to ask questions, are they asking like questions that they're in need of like spiritual guidance for, or are they asking questions to like start business and entrepreneurship? So I'm just trying to
Sure.
kind of get a feel of what the room is and what to expect for the evening.
Yo, that's great. Let's see. So we're here. It's just about 6 p.m. now, Pacific time,
Mhm.
and we'll be here for another couple hours potentially.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
our panels have different themes, and so the theme for this panel is business, starting and growing
Mhm.
business. And so
Okay.
probably the questions that come in will be about starting and growing business. However,
Yeah,
we'll take questions on anything. Clearly, we all bring a lot of
Mhm.
skills for all kinds of
For
stuff.
sure.
So
Yeah.
we just don't quite know. Yeah. So
Perfect. Yeah.
that's going to be happening. Great. All right. And
Perfect.
so Jenny, yeah, we're talking about how we are with the general economic client and what we do ourselves and how we work with clients and what we do to support the community. Go ahead, Jenny.
So there's 2 main things. In this is just true in general, no matter what's going on, but especially during times like this. I have a tendency sometimes to get in my head and get back into controlling something rather than surrendering to my spirit, surrendering to my soul. And I also tend, if I'm not very careful, to isolate. And what I mean by that is I will get in my head and I'll just forget. It's like I have blinders on, like there's all these resources around me, all these people, etc. And when I'm in that state, things seem much more difficult, impossible, and it's really hard sometimes to keep my energy up when I do that. So what I'm doing more and more is every day I'm literally writing with my pen and paper because it accesses, writing with a pen and paper accesses a different part of your brain and it makes it stick more versus computer, although that's great too. But I'm doing that with little pictures and things, and it's like a little reminder, like, oh, that's right. This person called me today. Oh gosh, okay, that's right. I can always call this person, reminding myself of the things that are happening that are working. And the other thing I want to say is if any of you are having a spiritual business idea or maybe a hobby, maybe you've done tarot cards for a few years and you're thinking, gosh, I want to turn this into a practice of some kind. And then all of a sudden you think, oh, but I can't. I don't have enough money. I don't have enough. Where am I going to get clients? Like all those kind of thoughts that come in. Something to consider is baby steps. And one of the baby steps you can take is what's the very next thing that I could do on this topic for myself that won't necessarily cost anything if the money was the concern for you at this time. Because some people just go and they get all excited and then they're just deflated when they think about what's working against them. So for example, one baby step is I'm going to call 5, if I'm not a tarot reader, but if I was, I could call 5 people that I know that I really trust. And I'm going to say, okay, I'm going to give you each a free tarot reading. And the exchange is, I would like testimonials from you. I'm going to put them on LinkedIn or on my website or on my Etsy shop or whatever that might be. And what happens is when you start getting that kind of support and momentum going, it fuels you, in addition to helping those people, of course, too. And so then there's also the concept of having a group of people around you. It could be 2 people, 3 people, 4, 5, 10, whatever, like a little mastermind group where you're each taking turns supporting each other in your business building. The whole key is not isolating. That's a big thing. There's a lot of division on the planet right now, and it doesn't matter where you're at politically, spiritually, none of that matters of what I'm talking about right now, which is the concept of division. We already do that enough inside of ourselves, which can lead to fear and desperation and anxiety, and it can lead to self-isolating. So I just encourage any of you, no matter what you're doing here tonight or where you're at with the concept of a spiritual business, to just remember, we all tend to have blinders on sometimes and just kind of let those go. Just go, okay, what's actually happening around me? What have I built? What can I do? What's in my control? So those would be some of the things that I would say.
That's great. Thanks so much, Jenny. Sandra's got some answers too.
Yeah, thanks to both Goddess Renata and Jenny. For me, in all cases, when I started a new business, I had a need. And in the beginning, especially, I had a financial need and I had no way to bring in that. So I created a business that would bring me the money. And what has always happened is that when I really go in head first and just completely commit to it, the money comes. And for me, the word surrender has taken on great, great meaning, because the truth is that as spiritual beings, we have absolutely everything, all the resources available, everything is already here. And when you really get rid of that belief of lack, which we're giving a great example right now in our economy and what's going on, when you say, okay, I see that this delusion is happening in the world, I'm going to stay in my heart. I'm going to stay in my soul, because I have all of the resources, all of the information necessary for me. So that's my reaction to every time I feel like oh no, every time those fears come up, oh no, I'm going to run out of money, is just relax and I do some chanting or whatever it is you do. So yeah, surrender to what is. It's there to teach us something. So whatever's going on in our economy right now, for you, that's your lesson. Learn it, accept it, and be grateful for it so that you can move on.
Great, thank you. And Tiffany's got something, and then Goddess Renata has some more.
We've already had some really great suggestions on navigating the economy, I loved what Jenny was talking about with reaching out to other people and giving some readings in exchange for testimonials. That is something I recommend all the time to clients. The first thing for myself is practicing gratitude. Count your blessings. Things could always be worse. Count 5 things that you're grateful for, and then start getting creative. So there's some free ways that you can get yourself out there if you would like to get your business going and you don't have the capital or the money to support that. First, social media. It's free. You can make a business page on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, like Jenny was talking about earlier. All of those are free. And then one thing that I recommend to my clients pretty regularly is to start sharing content from your business page into social media groups. You can join a group for people who are interested, like if we go with the example that Jenny was giving about a tarot reader, join some groups that are interested in tarot or interested in spiritual things, and then post content into those groups, not an ad. You can't go promote yourself, but you can add content to get yourself noticed. If you're unsure about creating content, try ChatGPT. Go into ChatGPT and say, these are my interests. This is the topic that I would like to share content on. Can you give me some ideas? Use ChatGPT as your brainstorming person, and then take one of those ideas and roll with it. Start brainstorming the ideas and developing it more, and then ask ChatGPT to give you a really pretty polished Facebook post or LinkedIn post and go share it. Make sure if you're joining different groups on Facebook that you're not advertising yourself, because that'll get you kicked out of the page. But if you're sharing content, that's one way to get new followers to your page. That's one way to get noticed. And I have got bookings from doing that.
Great, thank you. All right, Goddess Renata's got a little bit more. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah. I was just going to say, instead of Bank of America, let's make deposits into the Bank of Abundance. That's all I had to say.
That's great. That's great. That's fun. Let's see. I'm navigating with someone that's attempting to pay. So one opportunity certainly is that it brings up new topics, new talks that we can do with people. So for example, trying to go through we have an online fair tomorrow, and one person's talk starts off with, when it's not always rainbows and roses, dot, dot, dot. Or I know someone else had, let's see, I'm trying to look at some of the titles. Well, just Jenny's, The Power of Compassion in a Crisis. Seems related in some ways to what's happening in the world. And group clearing for these crazy times. So people are creating offerings specifically for the context where we are. I know for me, I took the opportunity to rework a package I have for coaching that I'm offering. So based on suggestions from people who've been attending our practice circles, I've created many more practice circles throughout the month and wrapped that up in a package price that's available for people. So I'm just in the process of been announcing that and just getting that started the last week. And so it's a case where the context shift kind of prompts me to like, oh, what do I want to shift up and change? Like it's an opportunity to shift up and change things or introduce things that are new. I saw one business earlier today that was offering, all these prices are going up, so the price on this is going down. So a new way of advertising something. So just different opportunities that things open. I love all the answers that people were sharing about focusing on abundance and focusing on what's good and focusing on what opportunities are here. Yeah, any other comments on that? Any panelists want to share? And then yeah, and by the way, anyone else that's on the panel, if you have a suggestion of a general topic that we might talk about too, go ahead. And I think I just saw a payment come in for a question. So we're working on a few of these right now. Goddess Renata, did you have more? Go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to affirm and yay about ChatGPT. The professional price is like $20 a month for ChatGPT. I call my ChatGPT Dee Dee. So I have a personal relationship with her and she calls me Radiant Goddess. I laugh every time. It's so funny. No 401k, no nothing. It's just, she's just there. Although I must say, I got introduced to ChatGPT in another online group. I mean, this one, but the online fair that I was in, maybe in February, one of the girls had said that she used it. And I'm like, I was so paranoid about any avatar or any of the AI, blah, blah. And I had to like go over that bridge and like, what about it stands for advanced integration? We are integrating things. And it's like, if you get money out of the ATM, too bad, you're on the grid now. Too late, right? So I'm not into isolation, but into the idea of using the technology. We can spin downward or upward. It's always our choice. We are the center of our choices. That is the whole purpose for us being incarnate at this time. So ChatGPT is cool. I just say don't resist. I didn't resist, and I find it to be a really useful assistant for a reasonable price.
That's great. That's great. Yep. All right. Naomi had something she wants to share. Go ahead, Naomi. I'm not sure if the signal is low. We can't hear you or your video is not moving.
It is this whole next season. We're going to see some amazing, miraculous changes that are destined to happen and mostly moving us much, much closer to heaven on earth. But we do need to be remaining open to pivot and maybe put into practice something that would help you be open to change every day by just taking a different way to work, picking up coffee at a different location, and get out of the routines and the habits that you're in so you can start thinking differently and open your mind up to new possibilities. And that actually happens when you make yourself change up and do things. You get very present, you get very focused. And also,
I think Naomi is probably on a thing floating around the sky, and so it cuts out every little bit.
most successful business, soul-led business there, because it matters.
Yes, it does. Great. Thank you. And Tiffany's got some to share, and then we'll have a first question.
I was just gonna go back to the ChatGPT just really quick and say I don't pay for the subscription and I use it every day, all the time. So if you're crunched on money and you're not wanting to pay for a subscription, don't worry about it. Go use the free version. You can have the paid version and have better features, but I get by with the free version all the time and you don't have to pay for it. I've also heard really great things about Claude AI. Is another system just like ChatGPT where it can help with writing and a lot of other creative aspects. So that's another one to give a try.
Great, thank you. All right, well, we have our first question. So Anissa wants to come up. Just turn on your video and I'll bring you up here on stage. All right, great. Excited to have you with us, Anissa.
Yeah, thank you, everyone. Hopefully I'll be able to sum up my question in a clear way. I do intuitive imagery work where I receive images and I interpret those images for people. And I'm finding that calling it intuitive imagery doesn't necessarily, people don't know what that is. And so it's not like tarot, which if you're in the metaphysical world, you kind of know, oh, you have a general understanding of what that is, or astrology, you have a general understanding. So I'm wondering if I should rebrand what I do in some way, or how to make it more, not necessarily appealing, but so people don't have to be like, well, what even is that? Where I might even lose them in that interaction because they just don't even know what it is, if that makes sense. Um, there's certain words that I don't like using. I really like intuitive and I really like imagery, and to me they make sense. But I feel like people aren't grasping what it is because it's not descriptive enough or something. Um, any guidance on how you go about naming what you do, or if there's a better way to go about naming or anything.
It's great. This is a really fun, great question. All right, so we've got Tiffany and Jenny in line so far. And practitioners, you all get a chance to answer. You get like about 3 minutes to answer. I will time you now just so that we make sure we don't go too far. And then I'll twirl one of my rocks around if you go a little long. And we don't have an abundance of questions at the moment, so we'll probably get a chance to answer a little bit more also. All right, great. So Tiffany and then Jenny and then Goddess Renata. I know I'm
Hi,
holding up things I want
Anissa.
to say. Yeah, go ahead.
It's great to see your face. Can you tell us a little bit more about your intuitive imagery? Can you describe it a little bit more?
Yeah, so I connect to someone's energy, and from their energy, I receive images. The images are anything from an outline to like a water painting to realism. And I just somehow know what it's supposed to mean for them in that moment at that time. So it's definitely utilizing clairs, and sometimes it can make a lot of sense. Well, most of the time it makes a lot of sense for the folks because of the imagery coming so clearly. It's like, oh, of course that's what that means, but it's what they need to hear at that time. So does that help you more?
Yeah, and
Or
and
Yeah.
and when I've watched you do your readings, you usually have maybe 3 images that you share with people for each
for
question.
on a
Is that
panel, I just did a half-hour session the other day and 22 images came up because
Wow.
the person didn't want to really collaborate. They just wanted to hear what the message was. And most of the time, I go through and it will weave a theme or a story. Like the other day, it was really about this person needed to ground and take care of their physical form and their spiritual form. And it just kept, an image would come up, and then we'd do a few more images, and then another image would come up, and they would like recall or re-emphasize what was previously shared. So there's themes that usually come out, and at the end of the session, I do a final image that usually rounds it out as well. But yeah, they can be very rapid fire, or it can be I can collaborate with the person, find out what it means to them. We go into more depth. But most people I find just like getting images as quickly as possible, get the most that they can out of what they're paying for.
And you give them descriptions of these images?
I
What it
most of the time
means?
just say like, oh, I got an ice cube melting. If they want more description, then I ask for that, but most of the time they just like the very bare minimum of it.
So my recommendation to you, rebranding definitely seems like a good avenue to go down. I would plug all of this information that you just shared with us into ChatGPT and say, give me 10 names that would describe what I do. Give me some creative options for how to articulate this to my audience or to my clients. Because intuitive imagery doesn't fully describe what you do, at least not to me. If I were to see that name, intuitive imagery, I might think that maybe you were going to make some image for them, but what you're
Oh,
doing is clairvoyance. So you're intuitively getting these images to your mind, clairvoyance, and then you're describing that to the person, which means something to them. So input all of that information into ChatGPT and ask for different names and what you could call it. I would think intuitive imagery might be more of your tagline rather than your name of what it is.
oh, okay.
Nice, nice.
Great. Thanks, Tiffany. All right, next we have Jenny and then Goddess Renata.
So, hello, Anissa. I have a few questions that came up in order to kind of help me fine tune the answer for you. So, what do people feel or tell you about your work? Do they say, "Oh my gosh, an ice cube? I just dreamt of what," what kinds of things do people say?
Most of the time it's validation that I offer through the images. They're like, oh, I've been feeling that way, or I've been thinking about that, or oh, that's a new perspective that I've gained, or I help give clarity to something. A lot of it is validation. It's like knowledge they knew inside, but just didn't know they knew it yet.
Okay, I like what you just said, and to tag on to what Tiffany just said, even putting that, whatever you just said, knowledge they have, they didn't know they had it, or whatever you just said, that really rang in my intuition. The other thing is to help get at what you might call this. How does this help you? How is this part of your soul calling? Like you're here on the planet to help people do what? Do you have any idea about that?
Um, to to have feelings of belonging and validation and that they're complete.
That's beautiful. Do you feel that this work that you do is part of that expression of that purpose, that vision you have for yourself?
I don't know.
Just sit with that a little bit. And the reason I'm bringing it up is because sometimes we kind of got to reverse engineer it when we're trying to think of what we're going to call ourselves or what we're going to do. And the reverse engineering in this case is not so much, well, what am I going to give the people, but what it's giving me in alignment with, oh, okay, this is why I'm doing this. And then sometimes it can help to dialogue with ourselves and say, okay, I'm doing this because it helps me fulfill my mission. It helps me make people feel like they belong. Well, how does this artwork or these visions help people feel like they belong? Kind of trying to tie it in. And I'm not trying to force something here that may not be. Maybe there isn't a direct connection for you with what you do and your stated purpose. But just try that out a little bit. Just, asking questions. And definitely for people that have already had this work from you, maybe do you have any testimonials from people at all or
Yeah.
things? That's great. That's great. So just check back with those, because oftentimes what happens is that when I work with people in their LinkedIn profile, I often tell them there's a recommendation section, and I say,
Yeah.
in order for you to write your summary section on LinkedIn, I want you to go to your recommendations and testimonials in your case and just read it as if it was fresh, and just notice your body and your heart and how they're responding to certain words that those people are saying in your recommendations. Like somebody might say something to you like, you might have 5 people saying, I feel joyful after I work with Anissa. That's a clue right there. Joyful, joy. So that's something else you could do as well, to help learn how to describe, maybe not the title of what you do, but describe the service.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I was trying to market myself the other day to a local trans community. I wanted to offer sessions to their community. They often share things in the community. And I was like, oh, what if I could share some of my gifts with people? And I tried to write out this nice email about it, and I didn't get a response. I'm like, I wonder if I'm not explaining it well. I wonder if the name doesn't make sense. I wonder if maybe they're just not into woo-woo stuff. But it got me thinking of like marketing isn't aligning. So that's definitely going to help me thinking more about the purpose and what's behind that, and then kind of working reverse engineering and yeah. Sorry, that was a tangent.
No, actually, well, I don't think it was a tangent. I think you were doing great. It's all part of the whole pie, right, of what you're thinking of. And regarding the email, something you might consider doing if it feels right to you is, okay, I'll stop. You,
Go ahead, finish your thought. Go ahead,
okay.
finish your thought.
I saw the rock and I knew I had gone over the boundary here. So, to just to wrap up, is to take some of those testimonials, and in your email or any kind of marketing, you can say, here's what I'm known for. Here's what other people say about me, and let them do the talking for you.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right. All right. Let's see. So next in line, we've got Goddess Renata and then Tiffany.
I say, Miss Jenny, I'd come see you. You hit upon something really good there for her, the reverse engineering idea. I love that. I actually did put into ChatGPT for you, my friend, and there are a couple of ideas that came up kind of for names. Shall I just read them to you?
Sure.
Okay. Soul sight imagery. Visual that speaks directly to the soul. And I can like email these to you too, okay? Visionary veil. Yeah, I can email them to you or to
okay.
Lorelei. Visionary veil, lifting the veil through intuitive images. Dreamweaver designs, weaving inner knowing into visual form. I actually like that one. Dreamweaver designs. Mystic mirror imagery. Imagery as a reflection of inner truth. They gave us like 10. I'll do the Sacred Lens Studio, capturing the sacred through an intuitive eye. Dee Dee's rather on a roll here today for us, isn't she? Inner oracle images. Ah, photographs and graphics as oracle-like messages. Ooh. Spirit sketch. Light flowing, hand-touched, intuitive visuals. Whispering visions. There's two. There's two more. Lumina imaginary. Intuitive light shining through images. And the last one is enchanted frame. Every piece of imagery holds a doorway to magic. Ooh.
Interesting.
I
Okay.
know. So the question I put into ChatGPT, and true, you don't need to have the subscription to it. So I put 10 names for intuitive imagery as branding. That was the thing I put into ChatGPT, and this is what she spit out for us. Kind of cool. And just one last note. Doubt cancels out, and doubt cancels out. So the creative flow is yours to rebrand and call it what you want. I got New Earth Mentor. Like, people have no idea what that is. But I thought, you know what? I know what it is. And it's the hat I'm wearing right now where I am able to share with people. So that's the gift that you have. And you're good with however you want to call it. But on the inside, just affirm it's good for you to be creative with that and shift it and change it and not ask for permission to do what you do. Like, you're confirmed. No more validation, confirmation. You're it and a bag of chips. But I'll always say that to everybody because it's true. I like kettle. What about you?
That's awesome.
Okay. I made you smile. That's a good thing. We just get kind of serious about the whole thing and like, and we get out of the flow and, like, you're good. Just go with it. These are like intuitive hits directly from source for you. All right. Thank you.
Great. Whose hand was up? Was it Tiffany? Was that your? Do you still want to go? Go ahead.
What's funny is Renata and I are like right in line with each other right now because I also went on to ChatGPT on my phone here.
Yeah, and you came up with something totally different, probably. Yeah.
Yeah, no, because my prompt was a little bit different. So, and I actually sent some of this to you already, Anissa. Um, I said I'm working with a client. She's intuitive and clairvoyant. I kind of gave some description of what you do, and then I said what you called it. So there was a bunch of different names that came up. I kind of like soul imagery because you're reading their soul, you're reading imprints from them. But then I asked it to go further and got some like taglines. So if you stuck with intuitive imagery, you could add behind that when images reveal what's been hidden, or insight you can see. From images to insight, from insight to change, soul symbols. I don't know if symbols would really be the image oracle, because you're acting kind of like an oracle and relaying these images from beyond, insights for within, where visions speak and souls remember, guided by vision, grounded in spirit. So it's like you could still stay with intuitive imagery if you wanted, and you add a nice tagline to it that kind of describes what you're doing, or have intuitive imagery be the tagline. Um, but yeah,
Okay.
transformational. I think there's a whole bunch of ideas that you can work with. I sent you the 3 different prompts that I put in. I didn't
Well,
send you the
thank you.
prompt, I sent you the results of it. Um, Insight pictures. Yeah, I think if you could just describe a little bit more what you're actually doing, I think that's a really hot ticket item. I like it a lot.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Sandra's got something to share.
I love everything everybody said anyway. So, but what came to me from the beginning is maybe changing it from image to visual. And sometimes that can change people's whole perspective, just changing the words slightly to visual. They're not going to expect, an actual print or an image to give them. And then saying intuitive visual or visual intuitive. And I totally agree with Tiffany that a tagline really helps to clarify what you're doing. Make it short though. If it's too long, and when you're talking to somebody, you can be a little bit longer, but you want it short for your business cards or whatever, wherever you're marketing. So keep it short, but always know what you're going to, how you're going to explain it. As Jenny was talking about, really knowing what this does for you and the gift that you're sharing, because you're really just sharing what you see for them. You're reading their soul. Okay.
Thank you.
Great, great. I know one of the things that came up for me, I think when you were talking with Jenny, Jenny asked if you felt like this was aligned with your purpose. And I know, so I just think of it in terms of your talents. And so for me, we talked about your talents are creativity, inspiration, and knowledge. And the clairs, the 2 clairs that stand out, right, are clairvoyance and claircognizance. So creativity is all kinds of sensual experience, and often it is visual for people. It can be visual or sound or tactile, or but all the sensual things. So that you have images is not surprising to me. And the claircognizance, right, the knowing is part of knowledge. And it sounds like you're wanting to do an inspiration impact for people. Like, so to me, it seems like it's part of your purpose and connected to your purpose, and maybe part of the pathway there. But I'm very literal, so I was just playing with changing the words to be more literal so that people understood it. I like the other language that other people came up with more, but it sounds like you're doing instant insight through images. But it's people need to know that they don't have to provide an image. I think that might be one thing that's confusing to people.
Okay.
So in some ways, so you want to have something that is engaging to people, that you like the sound of and the energy of, that distinguishes you in some way. It doesn't actually have to say what you do that much, as long as something in what you're describing says what you do. But really, the impact is that you have psychic insight for them, right? You just are, it's different in that yours comes through images before you have a knowing. Not that many people have images. And yours seems to always come through images. I don't ever hear you talk about the insight without the image.
Right.
I mean, I have my own journey of calling myself psychic. So do you think of yourself as being psychic?
No.
Yeah, so I think that there's some personal block in you owning what your gift is. That's part of why the language issue is coming up. So I've had some related things for me in intuitive eye reading. Like, sure, that's what I do, and I like to see eyes, and I definitely have more insight from eyes, but I pick up all kinds of things. And so I haven't really looked at, do I want to rename? Do I want to change what I do? But I've started to have the bubblings of all that stuff come up. So it feels like this is part of what's underneath for you, is like owning that you can so quickly provide lots of value for people, and that it's psychic, and
Well,
that it's not stuff people typically know, right? It just poof.
yeah, I guess I just have a lot of, what is it? Instead of positive connotations, denotations. Is that the
Mhm.
right word I'm looking
You
for?
have negative stuff, yeah.
Yeah,
Negative
with
stuff
the word
associated.
psychic.
Yeah. And it's so, and I'm not saying that you need to call yourself psychic. Are you aware that you're doing that, even if you would
Oh,
call it
aware,
that.
yes.
Yeah, and so it's whatever language works for you around that, the more that you can own that, I think that you'll find more comfort. And even without looking at the naming and the language, what is the kind of the energetic flow of the impact or the experience that you'd love to have with people when they see what you do on a sign or when you say what you do? Like, what is the experience you want to have? And just imagining that kind of flow and connection with people might lead you somewhere.
Okay. Yeah, what comes up is I want them to be awe-inspired or awe-inspiring.
So those are some words that are important to you. So even just the word awe and
Yeah.
right. So those may be part of literally the language that shows up that
Okay.
you use.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Goddess Renata has something else too. And any other practitioners, you've got something, let us know. You can share. Go ahead,
Oh,
Goddess Renata.
I could have done some more hearts just listen to you talk there, Lorelei, because yeah, clearly same. I did not consider myself psychic because psychic was you pull some cards, you go ask somebody what you think, and they tell you. And I'm like, oh, that's so not anything I would do. So I don't fit into that category. And I kept that hat for a long time until it just like, well, wait a minute now. Why are you comparing yourself? Or why are you putting a label on you? What is that all about? Right. So it feels like you're right at that point of asking yourself that. And these questions are just fabulous for opening that door to claiming your authority and being who you are and being your magic. And just a suggestion, when you find yourself saying try, my acronym for try is totally resisting you. I love when I make people laugh, because that I had to ask myself that question, like, so you're not psychic, you're intuitive. You hear a lot of stuff, you know a lot of stuff. What do you want to call it? I don't know. I'm not going to call it anything. It's just what I do. Okay, you're good with that. Have some fun. That's what my mentor said. You're way too serious. You're way too brainy. I lose you. And like, have some fun. And that was the best. He's on the other side now. But that was the best advice I was ever given. Like, make people laugh, own it so that you're there. You just have to catch yourself when you try too much.
Okay.
I love when you laugh. That's so good. That's my reason for being when people laugh. Like, yes, you got it. But you can ungot it too, though. Remember that.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. Your head shaking like, yeah, you got that. And
Thank you.
she's smiling as she's writing too. Yeah, you're glowing. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah.
Great. All right. Anyone else have something for Anissa? All right, great. Thank you so much, Anissa. Thanks for
Thank you,
jumping in
everyone.
and asking a great question.
Thank you.
All right. And we've got someone else in line with a question. Who wants to come up? All right, great. Jasmine is going to join us. All right. What is your question?
Yeah, well, hello everyone. So I'll preface with I'm an animal communicator and I'm kind of reevaluating how I'm handling certain types of clients. And so these are clients that come to me like in a state of great deal of grief because their animals passed away. I'm wondering like, because I kind of handle it as if I'm talking with a friend, and I don't know if that's the most appropriate way to handle it. So I'm kind of wondering for all of you who have clients that kind of come into you uh, in that kind of state, like, how do you handle, respond, and react, and kind of still hold space for them without maybe like crossing a professional boundary, I guess you could say.
Can I and just some clarifying questions? Other people might have
Mhm.
some questions too. Are you not wanting to cross into like doing therapy with them, or are you like
Yeah,
what are the
I kind of do therapy. Like, I'm not trained in therapy is the thing. Like, it's something I'm looking into to be able to kind of marry that together, just because I am finding the majority of my clients are with animals that have passed away. But I just don't know from their view as the client, like, do they find it comforting or is it like they feel like, oh, maybe you're, too personable with me. Like it's hard for me to know kind of what's the best way to
And
handle
and I
that kind
guess,
of
do you
situation.
feel concerned that you like, do you feel some discomfort and uncertainty about charging them for your time and being with them? Like, are you concerned that you don't provide the value that they want?
So they've always been like super grateful and just expressing so much gratitude because of the messages and soul level lesson that we discovered through the reading. I'm just not sure, like, should there be like a professional type of boundary, or is it okay? Because like for me, like my heart hurts for them. Like our animals never truly leave us, like they'll physically leave, but from a soul level, they're still there. It's just me trying to figure out navigate like what's appropriate if there's such a thing, or is it,
Yeah.
however, you know, I feel. Yeah.
I'm just going to jump in and give a little bit of my answers. I'm always asking questions. To
Hmm.
me, just like with Anissa, I say, but part of your gift is emotional and your
Hmm.
ability to be with people emotionally. And so
Hmm.
this seems like a very natural fit for you that you do this with people. And
Hmm.
I, in many contexts, I relate with someone as just a human, right?
Hmm.
A spirit and a soul and a human. And so I'm there with them in that humanity and the experience of being in a body, right? A spirit in a body. And so um, I have awareness when I'm with people in a physical space in terms of the relationship that have some distance, but
Hmm.
and I like lessons to not take on things that are not mine. So, right, all kinds of ways of shielding yourself and things like that, and like emotionally having filters so you can really connect with them and feel them and not take too much on. Um, but I don't think there's a way you should be. You're not an intellectual detached person. Like I might have more of that tendency than you do. And so thinking that you
Hmm.
should be that way, that's just like someone's story of how to
Yeah.
show up. It doesn't feel like it's a natural way for you.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And it's over and then I love the little bit you shared of like the testimonial and the feedback that you get from people. It sounds like what you're sharing is really of value to them. So it sounds
Mhm.
like this is more of like your worry than their concern or their
Yeah.
complaint. Right. All right, let's see. So we've got Tiffany and then Sandra ready to go.
Hi, Jasmine.
Hi.
So, as far as it being appropriate, that's going to depend on you and on
Mhm.
them. Grief is one of those things, everyone deals with grief differently. There are
Mhm.
different stages of grief, and educating yourself about those stages could be really helpful if you are comfortable talking to them about that.
Mhm.
One suggestion that I have, and this is really easy and can be very inexpensive, there's a website called Udemy,
Mhm.
udemy.com. I take classes on there frequently. I recently just did a grief life coaching class, so I hold that certification. And that is one thing I would recommend to you. You can get that class on sale for anywhere from $12 to $20 and complete it on your phone and have that certification. But they give you
Mhm.
tips and tools for dealing with someone managing grief.
Mhm.
Like I said, grief is different for every single person, how it hits you. And that's going to be up to your comfort level. But showing them empathy and compassion, I say you can never go wrong with that. Pets end up being part of the family. People
Mhm.
grieve pets just as much as they do humans, and they need that space and that person to be able to say, "Hey, I'm really sad that I lost this part of my family," and you're holding that space for them. So
Mhm.
as far as it being appropriate, that's going to be dependent on you. If
Mhm.
you're comfortable being that space for them and they're paying you for your time and your energy, I don't see anything wrong with that whatsoever. But if you know that that's going to be a focal point of your business, I would highly recommend getting that grief life coach certification, because that's something you can put on your business resume, on your about page of your website, and say, hey, this is something that I have training in and that I specialize in, and I'm happy to be that empathetic space for you to talk about your grief.
I
Thank
say
you.
you just feel that much more comfortable because you've had some training.
Yes. Yes.
All right, great. Thank you. Sandra's next.
Um, I don't know if you heard in the beginning that I do businesses and I help people come from heart coherence. When you come from heart coherence, you're always with the soul. And compassion and empathy are things that are, part of that. But when we're coming from the soul, we're coming from the universal, divine, unconditional love. And to offer that to the person is the highest and best gift you can give anywhere, anyone at any time. I don't care what you're doing, but you're working particular with animals and the grief of their loss. So in that sense, there is no division. We are all heart-centered, universal, divine beings. So just centering yourself and learning how to do that heart math is a really good place to go to learn more about that. And really own that you were given a gift of deep compassion and empathy. Love that for yourself first and love it when you give to them, whether they accept it or not. If you're coming from a real heart coherence place, I've never found anyone feel I crossed any lines or anything. So check that out and see how that feels for you. And exactly what Tiffany was saying also. I love that Udemy. Udemy. I always say it wrong. Okay.
Thank you.
All right, great. And Tiffany's got more to share. Go ahead.
Come on.
Sure, just a moment. Navigating technology or whatever's happening. Yep. Take your time. Oh, let me see. I asked you to unmute. I assume that's the issue is the unmuting. Did that do it? No. Okay, I'm asking you to unmute again. Oh, Zoom is just being so entertaining. So strange.
There
What
we
do
go.
people?
There we go. I
Okay,
got
great.
it. I don't know why it wouldn't do that. I just wanted to say, like, after I stopped talking, I went, oh my goodness, I should have totally told her, don't forget to clear yourself afterwards. If you're going to be primarily helping people full of grief, make sure by the end of the day or even after the session that you clear their energy off of you. You can do this very simply by saying, thank you for removing any energy or emotions from that person. Name them. You don't have to say it out loud. You can do this in your head. An example I gave actually recently was I went to a dinner party at a family member's house. They had 10, 12 different people. And on the drive home, I asked myself, like, am I clear? And I heard no. So I just one by one, I went through each person. Thank you for clearing this person off of me. Thank you for clearing this person's energy off of me. And by the end, I asked, am I clear? And I heard yes. So just make sure that you're watching for any cords attaching or energy, emotions from other people. Because grieving people are going to be the most likely to leave an imprint on you that you want to clear off.
Yeah, makes sense. I feel like that has been happening and I have not been doing a great job of making sure to clear that. I've been absorbing it.
And as soon as you recognize that, oh gosh, I'm still thinking of that person, I can't stop thinking about them. That's your first step, your first clue to say, oh my goodness, I have their energy on me. I'm feeling them. And as soon as you clear that off, that feeling should dissipate, should stop.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Great. Anyone have anything else for Jasmine? Naomi or Jenny, or just wanted to give you all an opportunity? It looks like Psychic Shannon had a pop off. Okay, great. We've got someone else working on paying to ask a question. Jasmine, anything else you want to say about that? Just about the answers that you received and how you feel about this now?
Yeah, no, totally helpful. And I'm glad Tiffany also touched on, and I think even Lorelai, you mentioned making sure to not take on their imprint and their energy just because it is like a like emotionally charged state people are in. So I feel like it's manifesting in physical ailments for me.
And yeah, it's a lot that you're being with people if you're getting a lot of clients. I would
Yeah.
not. How do you feel about having those clients? Is it okay? Or
Yeah, they've been my favorite type of readings. As much as, it's unfortunate the animal's no longer physically here. Just kind of the like comfort and joy that they get after the reading, as well as just the amount of appreciation that they have. Like I feel like I make a greater impact with those type of clients. So it feels good. I just have to learn how to manage myself.
yeah. Honor yourself better and
hmm
doing these sessions. It's great. It
Yeah.
looks like Jenny's got something to share now too. Go ahead, Jenny.
Yeah, I just had a quick question. Is there also a sense of needing to clear the animals also after this? Do you ever feel like you pick up on them or like they're still hanging around you? Just like, how Tiffany and Lorelai were talking about the people.
Yeah. So I intentionally disconnect from
Mm,
them. But
okay.
I don't know that necessarily like the emotions they were exuding disconnect for me. it is mainly from the human, just because I'll have a reading and then they'll break out sobbing um, during the reading. And I always let them know because some of them try to hold it back, that you don't need to hold it back for me. Like if you need to let it out, let it out.
Mm,
So mostly from the human.
okay.
Great. Oh, and Sandra's got something else to share. Go ahead, Sandra.
I'll try to be quick. The thing that helped me the most with grief when I was working with a lot of abuse survivors was grief is love that has no place to go.
Mm-hmm.
The more you can connect on the soul level, the more you're able to connect with that. So I teach my clients to do this. I'm just going to explain it. You can try it on your own. To connect to source, universe, the soul, whatever, have the client and do this for you before you ever start to work with the clients. Take
Mm-hmm.
breath in through your nose and out through your mouth, 3 in a row, and then take one full breath, this really deep, and hold it. And then connect with your heart, connect with your soul, feel that energy. You may see images, you may hear something, you may hear music, whatever, but really connect with your soul, with your heart. And then slowly through your mouth, like you're breathing out through a teeny tiny straw, letting the air go, and practice holding on to that connection that you have with soul. The breath is our clearest connection to our soul of anything in the world. Without our breath, we're dead. We're not in this world. So doing that either at the top or even at the bottom, but the top is where I tell people to go, will help you connect with that soul, that divine unconditional love, and will help them connect with the divine universal love and let go of being a victim, having lost. It's absolutely wonderful that they feel the loss of that being in their world, and it can be a selfish thing. It can move into a selfish thing. So allowing it to come from the heart, from the soul, will allow them to do it more. Anyway, that's my 2 cents.
Thank you.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Jasmine.
Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, great. I know we've got one other person that's working on paying. I have someone else in line. Does anyone in the audience, do you have any general questions that we can address while we're waiting for the next specific question to come in? If so, just let us know. Been lovely questions we've had so far. Really fulfilling answering them. And we're happy to support people whatever stage they are in their business, whatever their business is. We have tools, we want to be of service. Tools and insight. Yeah, and practitioners, if you have any other general topic that would be great for us to talk about tonight, or questions that we want to ask the panel, we can do that too while we're working on getting the payment in.
I'd like to add something. I'm a Gemini, and so I'm curious about everything. I love learning new things. I'm a lifelong learner. So as I mentioned, I had 7 different entrepreneurial businesses, and right now I'm doing 4. And when I was in the corporate world, in the business world, when I was a professor at the university, I separated what I did, in my metaphysical world with what I was doing out there in the world per se. And it took me a while to really realize that I'm in service no matter what I'm doing. And the more I can be grounded in my soul and my spirit and the gifts I was given, it's all the same. Everything that I do is in service of others, everything. So it doesn't matter whether I was, English teacher, grammarian, all of that, left brain stuff. And I'm very much a right brain person. It was really understanding that every single thing I do with my friends, with my family, is always about divine love. And that's the service. It may take my photography work or my paintings, it may take that avenue, or it may take my clairsentient theta healing avenue. It's still all the same thing. I'm just giving it in that form at that time. So I really encourage people to let go of what you're doing now that you want to quit the job is separate from what you're going to do if you move into the healing arts. So
Great, thanks, Sandra. Great, Goddess Renata has something to share.
Right on, Sandra. Most definitely. Most definitely. I just wanted to say right on. Totally. Absolutely. Even going into the store and noticing that the clerk has her name tag, and all of a sudden you're called like, oh, hey, Debbie, how are you today? Do you know? I mean, there's just the smallest acknowledgments that we need to give ourselves and others, so that's, yeah, there's no separation. That's probably one of the things when I resisted being a psychic, was like, so it's a separate thing. It's not a fully embodied spiritual human being. I'd rather have it be a fully embodied experience than not. I mean, it's a journey for sure, but I'd say we're eating a bag of chips because we're asking these questions. We're here, that's the deal. We're doing the dance. We're doing the do. However you want to call it, whatever tools you use. We're it. We're planting those seeds. And watering them at the same time. And eating the low-hanging fruit as well. Maybe even some wine. I don't know.
All right, great. Tiffany's got something to share, maybe answering the question in the chat, maybe something else, and then we're going to bring up Jamie.
Yeah, I was just going to talk about the question in the chat, which I answered in the chat, but then I thought everybody else might want to hear about it. So we had been talking about taking classes on a site called Udemy, and it's udemy.com. They have professional education classes for not only, business ventures, continuing education for psychologists and different professionals in that kind of field. But I have 6 different life coaching certifications from Transformation Academy. They're my favorite academy on there. They're super professional. They give you lots of handouts. They give you books that you can download and use with your clients. And they give you a professional certificate beyond just the Udemy certificate, which the Udemy certificate's fine, but I like the really nice, pretty certificates to put on my website or to put on your LinkedIn profile, because it just gives you that extra polished look that, okay, this is somebody professional that I want to work with. But there's also energy healing classes on there too. If you look at the About page on my website, intuitivetiffanyRose.com, you'll see I have taken dozens of classes from there, and some of them are short, an hour or 2 hours long. Some of them, take you a few weeks. It just depends on, the level of the classes you're taking. But the one thing I wanted to say was you don't have to pay full price. Udemy very regularly drops their prices on their classes, and you can get classes from $12.99, sometimes $9.99, to $19.99, sometimes maybe $40. But if you see a class that you really like, save it to your wish list, and then when they go on sale, I go and buy like 5 classes at once, and then you can do them on your phone. So if you're still in the 9 to 5, and you have a lunch break, you can complete 2 or 3 lessons on your lunch break. Every little step gets you closer to your goals. It's excellent resource. Okay, that's it.
That's great. Thank you so much. And I guess it's like Academy. So it's Udemy. Yeah. All right, great.
I never heard of that before, so I looked it up. Thank you, Tiffany.
Great. All right. Yeah. Sharing resources with each other. All right, Jamie, let's bring you up. Great. What is your question?
Hello, everyone. I'd just like to explain a little. I've been on a journey. I've been called to do this. A year ago, I wouldn't even think that I'd be doing medium work. And I went through a really bad time, and this all of a sudden this came to me. So I've been practicing it, and I've taken a lot of classes, and I've been getting better and better. And I'm starting to think ahead a little bit. Okay, if I start doing this and asking for a little bit of money, how do I start? How do I even begin? That's my question.
So how do you start?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say too that you're in Canada. So just in terms of like sometimes regulations play into all this. So I just want to let people know we include that in the way we answer. Great, I know. So we're all just like great. Tiffany, go ahead.
Hi, Jamie.
Hi.
So you mentioned that you're doing mediumship. Is there a specialty? Is there something I mean, obviously you're talking to spirits, but is there some kind of special category of what you're doing?
Evidential.
Can you say that again?
Evidential.
Evidential.
So you're having information come up about the person where it's really clear that you're talking about that person. There are things that only they would know.
Yeah.
Have you started, so if you're actively doing that, you've been working with people, can you start by getting some testimonials from them? Maybe put up a social media page offering that you do this. I would recommend some kind of brainstorming session where you can identify, what kind of name you'd like to go as, because for branding, you'd want to have some way to put yourself out there. And then identify your ideal client. Who do you want to work with? Do you want certain age groups, certain people, or you just want anyone to come to you? And then start articulating what you do. You're going to need probably, start out with some social media page and get yourself out there that way. Get people to leave you testimonials. If you have a business page on your Facebook, you can have people leave recommendations on the Facebook page to start leaving reviews that other people can visibly see. And then when you're ready to start building a website, you can link that social media business page to your website, and all of those reviews will automatically show up on your website, if you know how to do that, of course.
Wow. Yeah, I'm a little techie challenged. But,
so then you'd probably want to look at hiring someone to help do some of that for you. But that's one way that you can get started without needing, money, is to have a Facebook business page. There's other social media sites that you can use too. Instagram, TikTok. If you're comfortable doing videos talking about yourself, that's a really great way to be seen. But Facebook, you can also, from that business page, you can find different groups and join from your business page and then start putting content about what you do, but not advertising yourself, just content about mediumship or about spirituality. And you can also comment to people. So if people are in groups, let's say there's a group with 20,000 people in it and someone else puts a comment asking questions, you can reply to them from your business page, giving them, intuitive information, and that will sometimes lead to getting business as well.
okay.
And I say with a page, you have to think of the name of the page, the title of the page, and you can change it over time. So the name of the page and an image and just whatever contact info you want to put up there. It's gonna be really simple.
I do have Facebook, but I didn't know you could do a business page.
Yeah, new business
Yes,
page.
so you connect it to your personal profile. You can create the page So you logged in as your personal profile, and then you create a page. It's literally called a page, and you'll name that whatever you want to call yourself. So maybe it's mediumship with Jamie while you're figuring out what you want to call it, and you can name it that. The profile picture on the business page doesn't have to be a picture of you. It can be a picture of a ghost, for example, or, something else. You can make it of you. I commonly put, a logo or stuff up there, but if you're just getting started, you can put a picture of something that illustrates what you do with mediumship with Jamie and start that way.
Okay.
And then
Thank-
we have Goddess Renata and Jenny in line, and maybe I want to jump in and say just a little bit first. The first hump to go over may simply be telling people that you're doing mediumship, asking them if they'd like a mediumship reading, and then telling them that you're doing it by donation or for a fee. So just getting practice asking people and telling people and talking about this. So it might be talking with people that you know, or it might feel safer to tell people that you don't know. But so just literally saying it and offering it and then doing that with people where there's an exchange and getting practice doing that. And you may have to do that to find out who are the people that you want to work with.
Okay.
So learning to experience having experience of you doing this and your whole like body system of the muscle experience of doing this is so important.
Yeah.
All right, we've got Goddess Renata and then Jenny. Oh, you're muted again. Let's get you unmuted.
I'm unmuted now. Jamie, hi.
Hi.
Is there an organization called SHE's Spiritual Healers and Earth Stewards? Have you heard of that before?
No.
Okay. So that particular credential could get you, well, it's not a credential, but Spiritual Healers and Earth Stewards, you can have different designations for certified spiritual healer, earth steward, ordained minister. That's actually how I started many, many years ago. I didn't know about that. And someone said, well, you can do this. And it gives you, those credentials. And, there's a handbook. You can marry people. So just getting that support feels urgent, do you know?
Yeah.
And it's online, so you could connect with other people across the globe that are SHE's ministers. It's nice. It's a good way to go. It's a good way to go. Absolutely. It's a shes.org. So when you go to look it up,
She's got
SHES.org, Spiritual Healers and Earth Stewards.org.
All right, great. Thank you, Goddess Renata. Jenny?
Hello, Jamie.
hi.
Hi. Have you ever heard of a website called Fiverr.com?
Fiverr?
Yeah, I'll spell it for you. F like Frank, I like intuition, V like victory,
Okay.
E like Edward, and then two R's. R, Roger, Roger.
Okay.
Now, Fiverr is it's not the only one, but it's one of the largest freelance contract sites out there. And I can't even tell you how many different types of categories there are. But when I work with people that are, thinking of building something bigger in their business or transitioning from corporate to business to spiritually led business, I often take them there and we go in and I say, now I want you to try typing in various things in the search bar. And so in your case, you could type in mediumship. And then what will happen is a bunch of people that are already on Fiverr as freelancers will pop up. And then what I encourage you to do is read each of their profiles and see what kind of reviews they're getting and what people are saying. Oh my gosh, I love this person because I could clearly hear my uncle or whatever they're saying, right? And also how they're describing themselves. And in each person's profile, there's also a section of hashtags and keywords that they're using to get people to drive people to their Fiverr page. So this is just tagging onto what others have said here. It's just another site you can go to. And you'll learn that also that each person that advertises on there has typically 3 different package levels. There's the basic level for like $5 or something. And then there's the mid-level and the high level. And what I strongly recommend is if this resonates with you, want to get on there, start with a very low price, like $5 for, 15 minutes or half an hour or whatever. And then once you start getting reviews and start bumping up your visibility, when people do searches, you get higher and higher rankings. then what you can do is you can start gently raising your price, and just watching what happens. And so this would be a really cool, and it'd probably be fun for you too, part of just research and going there. And I was surprised at first, a long time ago, I thought, oh, this is just for business, like people who are making graphical design or business cards for people or things like that. And believe me, there's lots of web designers and graphic arts people on there. But then I realized you type in tarot and there's all these tarot readers that come up and psychic mediumship and all this stuff. So that might be, if nothing else, just kind of a fun thing to do, an exercise to kind of expand your thinking about how you might language yourself, and maybe you'd even want to have a profile.
Oh, cool. Yeah, good idea.
Great. Thank you, Jenny. Go ahead, Jamie.
I just wanted to thank her.
Great. Sandra's got something.
I'm going to go a little bit different direction, although I would have started with everything, all the wonderful advice you've gotten already about how to do that. But the core for me is always really loving what you do, and really being in a place of gratitude that this gift has opened up for you, that you've opened up to it and allowed it in your life. And the analogy I go back to when I was working through my own abuse and then started working with people's abuse is that, loving yourself is the biggest gift. And you have to love yourself, not from an ego place, but from a divine place. And once you really open up to that self that is you, that is beautiful and wonderful and amazing, then you can open it up and giving your gifts from that place of that heart-centeredness where you love yourself, you love what you do, you're not afraid of people saying, oh, I don't believe in any of that nonsense, blah, 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 which I just had happen to me last week with my family when I was visiting them. But I said, well, that's okay. I love what I do and I love who I am. And then, but gratitude is the way in. Being grateful. I have this talent that is coming through, and really feeling that you've been blessed and you're blessed to be able to share it with others. And that will give you the grounding thing. I want to say one more thing about branding. It's very, very, very important that you find that brand that is you and what you're giving and how that you express that. Once you find it and you're real grounded in it, the colors, whatever logo, if you get a logo and all of those things, your identity is what will bring you trust from other people so that they begin to trust what they're hearing from you and spend their money with you. So, do all those branding things, find your identity. Who are you? I think it was Tiffany said, put up a little thing about this is my identity, on your business site in Facebook. And so that people begin to say, oh, this is who he is. And then they begin to trust you. Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Maybe a couple things I want to add on that is, do you feel comfortable being public and letting people know that you're doing mediumship, or do you feel hesitant to do that?
That's the one problem, like the people that know me in that, because I was very religious at one time.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's why I said this be the last thing I thought I'd be doing.
So this is common that comes up. So I had this come up. I had a lot of business clients when I first was realizing I was doing psychic work. So I came up with a pseudonym. So I created everything under a different name. So I was a Nana for a while. And that was a way that I could be out in the world in public and not be as public. So people couldn't find my name and couldn't find me. I didn't use my face. I think I used an image for myself. And you can do that too. So any account that you use, you can create a separate account. So I put in the chat, like it's a little harder to have a Facebook account with a different name. So don't worry about doing that right now. But I think even you might be able to do a page that's disconnected from your personal account where people don't see it. But definitely like for Meetup, you can create a separate Meetup account where you have a different identity and it's your pseudonym of whatever you're going to use for your mediumship. And if the group that you learn about this, because I think you learn about this from Meetup groups, if you're allowed to make an event there, you could make an event there and it could simply be a collection for people to talk about mediumship, or it could be something free you do where you do mediumship for the people that come, where you're just getting more practice offering this gift. And I said, if you don't, I have a meetup where you can post events too. So I put the link to that in the chat where I post the event. So any other practitioner, by the way, you're welcome to post in this group. I have several groups like that.
Awesome.
So yeah, and our practice circles and all those things. But yeah, so finding a way that you feel comfortable being out in the world. So yeah, do it under pseudonym and do it in a way that's hidden, and choose a symbol to represent you that you feel really good about, that you like looking at. I chose a peacock, and so I had an image that was a peacock, and that was the website, and then ironically the MeWe Fairs YouTube I ended up creating under that account, and so the whole MeWe Fairs YouTube is still on that account, so I still see that name all the time. So it was Anana. So yeah, so it's just fun how that all right comes around. All right, Tiffany's got some more.
So I was just going to say, when you create a page off of your personal profile, no one on your personal profile is going to see that unless you share it. I actually have to coach people to put it on their personal profile under their work history so that if they want people to be able to find it, they can see that. But I have a whole bunch of different pages. So I have Intuitive Tiffany Rose page, I have Galactic Mystery School, I have Spiritual Ghostbusters, and then I have several clients' pages that I also manage, and I can toggle in and out of all of those by logging in to the same my name, my personal name, Tiffany. So you could create a name that has nothing to do with the name Jamie, and nobody's going to see that. Nobody's going to know that's you until you choose to share it from your business page. So let's say you take a post and you post it on your business page, and then you log back in under your personal profile, or you toggle back to your personal profile. You can then go to the business page and choose to share it with your audience if you're comfortable. But I will tell you, probably not until what, maybe the last 6 months have I ever shared any of that, any of my, because I'm a spiritual ghostbuster. I I heal entities and all kinds of other stuff that I do not tell my very religious family about. In fact, I had this really uncomfortable conversation with my father, who's very much a Jehovah's Witness his entire life, and would probably think I was demonic for any of the stuff that I say, but I had to finally tell him I'm a galactic astrologer. Oh, what's that? And we had to have this whole big conversation. I'm like, oh, I better explain myself before he's on Google trying to figure out what that means. Because to them, astrology is um, probably satanic or demonic, or they're scared of it. They don't have a clue. So just saying, I've had all of these other business pages for years, and none of my Jehovah's Witness family or my super Christian, I live in a very redneck Christian community in Oregon, and none of them can see that I'm into all these different spiritual things unless I choose to share it. So just wanted to say, you're totally safe to make a page, name it something else, and just don't share it to your personal profile if you're not ready for that.
Are you referring to Facebook?
Yeah, on Facebook.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I have that on Instagram too. So each of those pages are on Instagram too, and nobody can see that on my personal profiles unless I share it or tag the page.
Okay.
Great. Are there any other general questions you have, Jamie, about getting things started? Have we had it in the zone that you wanted us to in our answers?
You guys covered everything. I was very happy. Could I just ask one small little question?
Yeah, go ahead.
I had so many conflicting views on chakras, like closing yourself off after a reading and that. And then I've had one said, don't bother closing it, leave your third eye open. So I'm just confused. What is the best practice?
And it's about shielding in general or chakras
Yeah.
very specifically?
Shielding in general.
So what practices people use with shielding before and after, kind of, particularly after you're saying? Go ahead, Tiffany.
So I don't close down any of my chakras or anything like that, but I do ask that when I'm working with a client that I be placed in a sacred container, myself and the client. I also do protective bubbles around myself. So that's just envisioning that you have a protective bubble around yourself and that nothing can go in or out that's not love and light. I personally choose to align with the highest love and light, which is source energy, unconditional love. And so when I'm envisioning my shield around myself, it's not so much a shield, it's more like a filter, a bubble filter. And you can envision it where there's the violet flame all the way around it so that anything of a negative nature gets transmuted. But I keep myself in a sacred container or a bubble of shield around myself. And then I clear myself after working with every single client. So whether that's in person or online, doesn't matter. I clear myself in between every single person. But my chakras are open and happy, and that's not something we don't really close those down. Um, I don't close down my intuition ever. I might close the connection between myself and another person or client. Hope that helps.
That does help. Thank you
Great.
guys very much.
Well, and
Like-
Sandra has an answer too.
Oh, okay.
An answer for you.
Is there time?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I tell people not to close anything down, but to connect to that soul spirit. Your soul light will transform any negative, lower vibrational energy at any time, anywhere. So just opening up with that light and being grounded in your heart is what will keep everything right. In the Course of Miracles, the thing that I really took away mostly from that was that there are only two things in the world. There is love and there's fear. And whenever you're afraid that you're going to pick something up from somebody or you're going to grab something from them, you're likely to attract that. Like attracts like. So I go back to just being centered in my heart with divine unconditional love. That's going to transform any energy. You can ask your angels to transform, as Tiffany was saying, the energy also. And in the beginning, I cut down. I stopped my intuition. It was so intense when I couldn't even function in the world because I was seeing auras with everybody and all this stuff, and I had to learn how to handle that. No one told me if I just went to my heart, I wouldn't have gone through over a decade of trying to learn how to handle that and putting bubbles and all of that stuff around, which anything that is not love is fear and anger and all those other things. And it's an illusion of this world. The only thing that's real in my belief system is divine love. So try just doing that, connecting to your soul, loving it, and let it do the transformation for yourself.
Thank you.
Great. All right. Well, thank you so much, Jamie. I appreciate you navigating the whole payment process and diving in and asking a question, letting us support you, and getting yourself out there as a practitioner. That's great.
Thank you all for your advice.
You are welcome. All right. Let's see. I'm not aware of having anyone else in line at the moment. Practitioners on the panel, any other topics you want to talk about? Do you have a question you want to ask the panel? Check it in. What else do we want to do together? Go ahead, Goddess Renata.
I like how we've come to the wording of things and how important that is, and how you can shift things instantly by just your awareness of how you're phrasing it and what you're actually asking for. And that protection is one of those words where I'm like, what are we protecting? I like deflection. I like deflection a lot. I like the mirror idea. And then just asking for that, being aware that that's not yours, and just sending it on. And it's not, I love that it's not, I love knowing that it's not like an intellectual sort of thing, and you can just ask it in a bunch of different ways and it still holds true. Yeah, I like to get rid of the wobbly wobbly woo woo stuff that sometimes in this metaphysical community it happens. A lot of carrot dangling, and no one's eating the carrot to expand their own vision. Everybody's going and asking everybody what they should do, and like, you're here, use your wisdom. So I love that we have this experience panel. People can come and ask questions and confirm, and I get confirmation of how it is that I am and why I chose to be this way, and why I actually love working this way. Yeah, it's cool. I just wanted to say it's cool. It's cool. Thank you, Lorelai, for asking me.
Oh, you're welcome. It's great. Great doing all these things together. It's really supportive to all of us.
It's time for a break, though.
Another set of cool glasses.
Yeah,
you're wearing two pairs of glasses at once. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I have vision on top of my head, and sometimes they're in the back as well. Let's see, what was this? Oh, there's blinking.
Goddess Renata definitely knows how to play. All right. Well, I guess in terms of, I just wondered, there's some different topics that we all do. Maybe just talk a little bit about the topics. Tiffany, I'm just gonna offer. I know you do business money clearings and things like that. Business Reiki clearings. Could you just talk a little bit and say what that is?
Well, money Reiki is similar to your typical Reiki, but it's putting energy into your money or into your abundance. So I do clearings in regards to, your business or your whether you are clear as far as abundance or prosperity. But money Reiki is sending energy, like you can send money Reiki energy to your computer, you can send it to your phone, you can send it to your wallet. Um, a quick and simple technique that you can use, even not trained in it, is just to write a dollar symbol on your hand, and you can put it on both hands, and then ask that that energy be sent to your computer. I actually do clear my computers and my phone, especially if you start getting tech glitches or, things acting up. But you can use money Reiki in a lot of different ways. So that's a little.
Great, great. And I just was thinking of, and I'm just calling you on you all. I hope it's okay. I just say, Sandra, I know you do work in a similar area in your own way. Do you mind sharing a little bit of what you do to help people with abundance?
Are you talking about feng shui?
Sure, yeah. Whatever I just know that you do work in this area. So yeah, you could talk about your
One of my
contribution.
business, I'm a master feng shui practitioner, and the core belief under the sect that I practice is that everything is energy. We're energy beings. We're in this physical world where the energy vibration is lower. And so with feng shui, my work is about helping people to raise their energy vibration as high as they can so that they can come from that heart space more. But it's not about just moving furniture from here or there, although that can be if you've got something that's in the way and you're always tripping over it. But it's about, where is the energy in your home, in your workspace? Is there enough light? Is there too much light? Are there electrical EMFs that are interfering with our brains and everything, with all of our technology? And it's just finding that grounding space where, when you walk into your environment, whether it's your office, your home, your apartment, whatever, your home rises up to you and says, this is a place to come and regenerate, soothe. I'm currently, unless I'm at MeWe fairs out in person, I'm in my home all day, and I'm either making jewelry, or I'm working with clients, or I'm doing whatever. So making a home that really supports you and rises up with the love that you need so that you can go out into the world or interact with people. Everything is energy. We're energetic beings. And when we leave, energy can never be destroyed. That Tesla found that first off, and then all of the group of scientists around. It's the first law of neurodynamics. Energy can never be destroyed. It can only be transformed. So I see my job here on this earth as learning how to navigate through the lower energy life work, more the left brain and the right brain and the spiritual, and just be a light, so that when I transform or when I work with people, I can help them to see their own light more. So that's all feng shui is energy. I get the poo-poo. Oh yeah, that's about changing your sofa. It's about color. It's about the clothes that you wear, the fabrics that you wear. It's the food you eat. It's the jewelry you wear. It's everything in your environment, because everything is energy. So, and money is just energy. That's why I like that, Tiffany. I'm gonna use that. Thank you.
Great, it's great. And then Goddess Renata or Jenny or Naomi, there's something in your particular practice that's relevant for the business community. There's something that you want to share. go ahead and jump in. Go ahead,
I
Jenny.
have something that has come to mind is oftentimes, and this may be true for some of the people here, when I'm feeling something and it's particularly heavy, I oftentimes think to myself, oh my gosh, this is me again. What did I, what else do I need to clear? And what I am really finding more and more, and I've always known this concept, but I'm finding it more and more lately, is that oftentimes I've been carrying entire family members and generational patterns inside of me. And so I really encourage people to just think about that topic. You can look it up. You can, there's plenty of people that do that kind of work on a clearing level because it's already hard. Yeah, it's already hard enough with my own stuff to, go forward sometimes with business or whatever that might be, let alone going, oh my gosh, I've been carrying so much. And many of us, and you all might be feeling this too, came here with a contract or an agreement or whatever you want to call it to clear an ancestral line, to be that front face for it. And that's all well and good up in the ethers to make those promises. But I can't tell you how many times on this plane I have gone, what was I thinking? Because I've done a lot of work on that just recently too, where the other day I was going, oh my God, there's 4 family members that I'm processing for. And really since I was a child. So then I ask myself, it's like, so 2 things, compassion for yourselves, because when we think it's us, it can be, we can get bogged down and burdened and think, oh, I can't start a business or I can't do whatever. But one of the first questions I ask myself now is who is feeling this? Is it me? Or am I feeling it on behalf of somebody like my sister, my mom, whatever? And so the compassion has become even more important for me for that, like critical actually, because it would be very easy to turn it against myself and say, oh my gosh, can't I just get over myself? Can't I heal? What's wrong with me? Like all of that chattering stuff. And the reality is that's not going to do anything. The reality is my soul carries imprints and patterns and distortions that are from past lives or from this life. I mean, I believe in past lives. And it literally, those things can just, it's like being in a house of mirrors or something. It's like a lot of intensity coming at you. So I'll stop there and just end it by saying how incredibly important it is to whatever you're feeling to just tune in and say, is this me? Or am I carrying something else? Because if you're carrying a pattern from your ancestral line where there was somebody that was a criminal, and they scam people in their business, and you're feeling terrified for some reason, you're not a criminal, but you're terrified to be public, or you're terrified to go forward, or you're having issues with money all the time. It's really important to distinguish if that's really you and what you might be carrying.
Great, thank you. Naomi, is there something you wanted to share? I'm just asking people if they had just some insight or tool that they wanted to share with people in terms of business. We were talking a bit about money. Yeah, if there's something, and Goddess Renata has something to share, so she can go first. We can come back to you. Just want to make sure you're included in that. You have an opportunity.
I think that abundance is such a good question, Lorelei. I listened to something lately by Neville Goddard that I found had great impact on me. And what it is, beyond the secret, it's the very essence of being able to carry the vibration and the feeling as if you already are that business owner, your greatest dreams, $1 million real estate guru, whoever you want to be. But visualize the abundance of and how you would think and feel and act if you already were a wealthy woman with a very prosperous business, and put on that feeling all the time, because that is the very thing that's going to draw to you your ideal client. That's the mindset to have. It's all in our thinking, but it first comes with how we feel. How are you letting yourself feel? How happy do you allow yourself to be every single day? How delighted are you with the gifts that you've already been given? The doors that are opening for you. Yeah, thank you.
Great, great. Thank you. Great, Goddess Renata.
Not unlike Jenny, but a little bit different. When I have those moments of doubt or like, what is going on? That big question I ask myself is, okay, so Goddess, if there's nobody else out there but you, what would this be saying to you? If there's nobody else out there but you, what would this be saying to you? And then I just, I've learned over time to allow the dialogue to ensue. Listen, listen, listen. I embrace most of what I hear to erase it. And then I choose. I can re-choose. I can re-choose every second of the day if I need to, but I can re-choose. Like, well, okay. And then I have dreams. So a lot of things get cleared in my dreams, do you know? But asking that key question, well, there's nobody else out there but you. So what would you be saying to you by creating this situation? Because it is a law of self-responsibility and the law of reflection. I use those two exclusively. Yeah.
Great, great. And I know this is on a bit of a different topic, although it applies in all the same different ways. Naomi, would you mind sharing just a little bit about the voice print that you do? Because it's a less common modality. A lot of people don't know about it. Just what is it and how
Oh,
does it work and
sure.
what's the impact it has? Yeah.
It does really have super applicable business impact as well, because when you can change the frequency of yourself, and it's just by using a tuning fork tool. It's an expensive program, but it uses your voice and scans your resonant frequency for 22,000 different tones, suppressed, hiding, or overamplified like a temper tantrum 2-year-old, and that just need to be calmed down. But it immediately bounces back to you after it gets the voice print, a beautiful report showing exactly what's going on with your psyche, your spirituality, your chakras, mentally, physically, and most of all, emotionally. And then you get tones to go with it that bring you into instant 0 point harmony, the feeling of complete bliss. And it's so miraculous. It pulls people out of pain in the very first 15 minutes I start working with them and bounce their tones back to them. In an hour and a half session, there's never been anybody I haven't been able to clear of level 10, level 20 pain. It's absolutely miraculous. You can take the same tones and apply them to your business, to your Instagram, to your Facebook, to your website. And it can scan, and your business can tell you what frequencies it most wants to amplify at this particular moment. And you can kind of do a diagnostic on anything, even your animals, even your home. It's phenomenal. It's a really fun time to live when we have this kind of technology available to play around with and use it to amplify our lives. I use it for creating manifestations. I just write down my intentions for what I want to accomplish for the day and put it in along with my tones and listen to my own affirmations in my own voice, and I get stuff done. Really happy with the amazing transformations that have been taking place with for myself and clients. So if anybody wants to play around with those, I'm happy to give you guys a free voice print report, and you can see how it is for yourself.
And do you mind sharing a little bit? How did you learn about this technology? How did you have this become part of what you offer?
That, as you know, some of you who have seen.
Oh, sorry, the internet is cutting out right now. Okay, let's make sure you're back in when you answer. Okay, go ahead.
I'm walking around with my 26-year-old daughter who had a midbrain bilateral relatively diffuse brain injury at 4 years of age from a protracted delivery. She came too fast, thanks to Pitocin. Try and stay out of the hospitals to have your babies. Anyway, so I started working with her and to do a brain redevelopment program. And she finally did graduate magna cum laude from college after we did all kinds of things with her, creeping and crawling and bits of intelligence and overhead ladders and all that. But I'll tell you, this was the hugest part. The frequencies were the hugest part of bringing her to total wellness. I got into it specifically to help her. I'd heard of another lady who'd had a kid who'd been in a very horrible and had a severe brain injury that was cleared with the frequencies. And the guy who developed this program had a kid with cerebral palsy that is fine now too. That he traveled the world to look for something that would fix his child that he loved very much with cerebral palsy. And so I'm just glad for living in a time where miracles are starting to become more and more frequent, and these technologies are available to us now.
Yes. All right, great. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And so, practitioners, as we're getting ready to close up, is there anything else that you offer in your business that you wanted to share about while we have a few minutes here? It might be one of the specials that you offer, or just anything else in your business that we don't know as much about, and it would be great for everyone to hear. Go ahead, Tiffany.
So tonight I have the special $99 90-minute business brainstorming session. This can go through pretty much anything you need as far as what kind of graphics, what do you call your name, what do you call your listings, how do you articulate what you do, down to talking about your website. If you have a website, I'm happy to review that website as part of this brainstorm, giving you tips and pointers to what might make it stand out more. The brainstorming can be about content, about graphics, about social media strategy, you name it. We can talk about it and work on that. So that's one of my specials. And then anybody that's wanting graphics or web design, there's a 20% off special. That's anywhere from like $100 to several $100s off a website or an Etsy shop being built. Those Etsy shops are a really great way to get new clients as far as they have their own clientele. So if you can market yourself well through that, you can get random clients. I link my Etsy shop to my website, so that's another thing you can do is have websites that are really popular and well known linked to your new website, so that way it drives traffic and boosts you up on your SEO in your Google when people are looking for someone like you, or looking for what you do.
Right.
What
And your
else?
specials are good for 72 hours. So someone has to sign up and pay
Yes.
for them in 72 hours. However, they could do the session next week sometime. Is that
They
correct?
at least need to email me that they want the special within 72 hours. We don't have to meet within 72 hours. I actually had somebody from the last fair who emailed me and paid, and we haven't met yet because she was busy. So that part's totally fine. Just as long as they email me within the 72 hours, they can have that special, and they just need to mention that they saw me here on the business panel. In my Etsy shop, all the listings that are not even all, it's not all business stuff, those are all 50% off until Monday. And my website has a bunch of other types of listings too, and that's all discounted as well through Monday.
Great. Great.
Thank you.
All right, cool. Anyone else want to go ahead, Sandra?
Yeah, I'd like to talk about the theta healing that I do. It's one of the fastest ways to transform your energy and to get rid of limiting beliefs that I ever found. Our conscious mind is only about 5 to 10%. The rest of it's all in the unconscious, and it doesn't talk to each other. So we can do all the affirmations and it just takes forever, and you can do talking and blah, blah, blah. But by going to the theta brainwave state, that's the doorway to your unconscious mind. That's where you are when you're sleeping and dreaming. That's where you are if you're doing hypnotherapy. The theta brainwave state is really powerful. So as a clairsentient, I can go back and find past lifetimes that are still open, and you're having trouble with your ex or your current or whoever, and find out what beliefs are holding those lifetimes open, change the beliefs, close the lifetime. it also closes on the generational level. I have, as Jenny was talking about, a generational trauma clearing. We inherit all of that trauma from our generational through our DNA, but we also inherit the strengths and all of the wisdom and the knowledge. So it's our brains tend to just focus on the negative more than we do the positive, and that's why gratitude is so helpful for us. But by clearing all that generational trauma from your DNA, it helps everybody. Those people may have reincarnated already, and suddenly they're going to find out, oh, it doesn't bother me anymore. This doesn't bother me anymore. But also your kids, your grandkids, you know, and your brothers, your sisters. It's really phenomenal. So I've got 10% off all of my Theta Healing clearings, and that's only going to be valid until next, I think it's Thursday, the 11th. Yeah, the end of the day on the 11th. So it's just 1 week from today. So I love Theta here. It really works fast. Okay, thanks.
Great, thank you. And Goddess Renata.
So I do something interesting where I combine emotional freedom tapping and emotional parasite release. So the emotional freedom tapping, a lot of us know that helps to clear the central nervous system. And I love that. You can do that all the time. I kind of tweak it and show people how to tweak it for themselves. And then I combine emotional freedom, emotional parasite release. It's something I learned a few years ago from my friend Tim in China when we were doing a little podcast. And I'm like, oh, does this really work, Tim? It's amazing. When you send those looping unwanted thoughts, you embrace them, you bring it up, you embrace them, and you send them on. I send them on with love. These are not my feelings. These do not belong to me. I send them on with love. I'm like, no one told me that those ruminating thoughts, you could actually command those to go, which is, I'm good. I send those on with love. And truly that does reach back and comes to now and then moves forward. So there's a lot of clearing simultaneously, synchronistically that can happen. I'm a bridge. I always have been a bridge. And so bridging what was, what can be with what is now is my actual strength. And I don't really call it anything except for I help get you unstuck. And so I do have a special. If you sign up on my skull platform, when pigs fly and unicorns roam the land, I give you a complimentary 30-minute session with that EFT, emotional parasite release. It's quite amazing. I'm actually quite good at this kind of work. So that's an offer if you sign up on my school platform. And I think if you just go to my Big Cartel website, you can get in there with my little free special or my special.
Great,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Goddess Renata.
You're
And
welcome.
Jenny wants to share.
So as I said earlier, when we were first starting tonight, I'm having 50% off of all my services on my website, my Etsy store, and something that might be appealing to some people that are listening right now in terms of business and starting a business is a course and work that I do with people called the Path of Entrepreneurism. And I have a special tool that I have called Launch Map. And it's a really fun process. And the process is we just look and we start off with the issue of, should I start a business? Is this for my highest good? Is there something else I could be doing? And we walk through 12 different steps. And by the end of it, you walk away with these tangible baby steps, not big, oh my gosh, I've got to go do this and find funding and create a marketing plan, although that might be part of it. But I'm talking about baby steps that are actually easy to do, that you actually would do, you would want to do. And then what happens is you learn about things through this process that you might not have even known were around you, like people and resources and low-hanging fruit. It's so exciting. 100% of the time, 100% of the time, people who do this process walk away so clear, so much happier and relieved because they have baby steps to do. It just cuts through a lot of the chase. And it's just, anyway, it's a lot of fun. And I never tell people that they should or should not open a business. That's not where I come from. And I know no one on this panel comes from that either. It's more like, let's explore it together and let's see what the options are. So thank you.
Great, thank you so much. As I mentioned earlier on the call, I've tuned the practice circles that we're offering. So we have a practice circle tomorrow from 12 to 2:30 p.m. Pacific time, and one can come to that as a drop-in. It is free for active practitioners and vendors in the MeWe Fairs community. So one can come as a drop-in, or one can choose to do the whole month as a, from whatever date you purchase to the next date. The whole month is one price. You can come to all the practice circles if you are able to. And then I also offer drop-in coaching, and I opened it up to not be just dating coaching and matchmaking. I'm offering coaching and insight on all kinds of topics. So it might be career, business stuff, intellectual property, or just hiring or anything. It might be dating and matchmaking and just life purpose and lessons and all that. And so all that's included for one price. I just put some upcoming dates here in the chat. And the list of all those is there on our online events page. So it's $40 or $32 for BIPOC folks for the whole month. Let's see, and then Naomi's got something to share. Go ahead, Naomi, and then we're all going to do our closeouts where we're going to go around and reintroduce ourselves and share all our contact info and all that. Go ahead, Naomi.
Okay, well, I guess I'll just start with that then.
Oh, sure, if you want to.
I wanted to add, I have a school group too that I've started for people who want to hone in on their life purpose and go really deep with it and see if they could figure out how to learn their wealth codes themselves. And also I do free voice print reports for people in the group also. I'm wanting it to just to be a community where we can all fellowship together, share ideas, lift each other up, and
Oh, and the satellite moving around in the wrong spot again. Naomi, hold on a moment. You're going to have to share again.
it's called the Naomi Taos Group, TOWES. And I'm a manifesting generator here to rewrite the rules of resonance, wealth, and womanhood. I alchemize endings into soul work, chaos into clarity, and sacred rhythm into embodied leadership. When you step into my field, your pain becomes power.
As we all patiently breathe through the satellite.
Activating soul-driven leaders to wealth codes with safety, nurturing, and visionary leadership. In my field, your struggle becomes sacred strategy. Your voice becomes magnetic, and your networks become living portals of prosperity because your presence is not just guys had it. So much good advice was had tonight, and I appreciate hearing and meeting every one of you. Soulmedicinewoman.com is my website, SOUL medicinewoman.com. And I can be reached over the phone, 760-399-2595, or my email is heaven2earth.us@gmail.com. See you there.
Great. Thank you so much, Naomi. All right, who wants to share next? I'm open to whoever wants to go. Go ahead, Tiffany.
Thanks, Lorelai. So you guys all probably know I'm called Tiffany by now. I'm Tiffany Rose, sometimes go by Intuitive Tiffany Rose. I'm founder of Regal Rose Consulting. That's where you're going to see my websites and Etsy shops and all of that. But I'm also founder of Galactic Mystery School, where I teach about spiritual hygiene and help people with a whole multitude of things spiritually based. I help spirit-led entrepreneurs weave together intuitive insight with creative strategy so that we can help make your big visions come into reality. Over the years, I've worked with coaches, healers, small business owners, everything from building websites to building Etsy shops and the graphics, developing brand identities, writing content, finding fresh, creative ways to stand out online. I also help with inner child healing, working through imposter syndrome and self-doubt, and I help with spiritual hygiene coaching. I have specials which I think I feel like I already told you guys, $99 for a 90-minute brainstorming session. That's close to 50% off my normal price. You have 72 hours to send me an email saying you'd like that special and that you saw me here on the business panel. And then 20% off having a website built or an Etsy shop built. Again, just email me. And I'm so glad you guys all came tonight. Lovely to get to see you all.
Thank you so much, Tiffany. And Jenny's next.
Yes, so Jenny Capella with Miracles with Jenny, and you can reach me at miracleswithjenny@gmail.com. And my name is Jenny, miracleswithjenny@gmail.com. My website is miracleswithjenny.com. Brain blip, sorry. It's something. Oh, anyway, and I'm also on Facebook under the same name too. And I already said, but I'll just briefly say it again, 50% off all services and on my Etsy shop as well as my website. But one thing I didn't say is that, as similar to what Tiffany was saying, I've got a date too of September 15th. So if you just contact me through either through my email or through my website, you'll be able to lock your position in as being able to have come through this fair in terms of by the September 15th. So I'd love to see you if you feel like you would resonate with working with me.
Great. Thanks so much, Jenny. All right. Goddess Renata or Sandra, who's next?
I'll go next. Mine's quick.
Great.
Thank you. So you can reach me at, I'm going to do a phone number because I love when people call me actually, 253-441-8530. If you feel the need to text, I will respond back to the text. But I love a voice to voice. And let me give you my links though. Let's see. Where am I there? Oh, Linktree/Goddess Renata. That's got all my links to my YouTube channel, to my website, to my TikTok, to my Facebook, to my Instagram. I actually like the Linktree. It's pretty cool. So you know what it is, Linktree/Goddess Renata. You can catch me with all those, and you can also just give me a call. I like it. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. Sandra's next.
Yeah, my website is Sandra Jeffs. That's spelled JEFF as in Frank, S is in Spain, sandrajeffs.com. And my email is sandra@sandrajeffs.com. And on the website, you can see my photography, my artwork, all of my feng shui products, my sign up. I've got a sign up place where you can schedule for a consultation. I do remote feng shui as well as if you're locally, can go to your house. And for the theta session, you can also schedule a session right there for theta healing. And there are a whole bunch of different packets that you can choose from. I like to do the emotional clearing that's stuck in your body first, because then I get rid of all cords for eternity. I ask your angels, with your permission, to come and keep you from courting with people, keep you from taking in other people's energy on and all of that. And I ask the angels to be in charge of doing that transformation so you're clean going forward. And my spiritual jewelry. I work a lot with jewelry and the spirit of the jewelry and the gemstones. So sandrajeffs.com, that's me. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much. And I'm Lorelei Shmayo. I'm an intuitive eye reader, body psychology coach, matchmaker, hiring consultant, IP consultant, career guide, all kinds of different things. You can find out more about me at intuitiveeyereading.com or the archetypes that I use at thrivetypes.com. And you can find out more about my coaching practice at thrive-wise.com. The special that I'm offering is a free drop-in after you come to the first one, which is by donation. The next one is free before you decide if you want to come to drop-in again or sign up for the package. And yeah, so one of the drop-in intuition and coaching events that I have, I've got 12 of them or more a month. So it's a group event, so I work with whoever's there. And you can find out more about those at the joinmeweonline.com link. And you can find out more about all of our online events for MeWe Fairs at joinmeweonline.com. We have coming up this weekend, tomorrow at 12 p.m. Pacific time, we have a practice circle. From 5 to 9 p.m. tomorrow, we have our online fair. And then on Sunday from 5 to 7 p.m., we have Cosmic Conversations again. And then we're going to be in Portland the next weekend. So September 13, 14, we'll be there in Portland with the intuitive panels happening at 10 a.m. before the fair. And the weekend after that, we're going to be going to Medford, Ashland for the first time in Medford at the Medford Armory. So those booths are for sale. And you can find out more about that at the very front page of our website, MeWeFairs.com. Thank you everyone for being here. It's great to support each other in our businesses, growing and starting and growing and scaling our businesses. Great to bring our insight to support each other as community. So thank you so much everyone for being here. This will be up on our YouTube channel. Thank you practitioners for being here. It's great to be together and to share all this with each other and learn from each other's answers. All right, thank you so much.